situation now, since 15 days now. It's a catastrophic situation, actually. This is the first time for all people in Gaza facing it. The previous incursion was, it was hard, but not like this one. The bombing by Apache F-16 never stopped. Tanks shooting, and they use new weapons these times. Let's say about the move. Let's talk about the movements. When we move, we can't move after 6 o'clock. It's forbidden. Let's say, because anybody move, any car move, it's a target for the Israeli soldiers. So we keep ourselves in the houses because it's the most safe between two practices. The places in the night. You don't know if the house next to you, you don't know if the street next to you is gonna shoot or not. So you will stay in scary moments in the night. You hear the shooting every time, every moment. It never stops. We didn't sleep actually in the night. We try to sleep a bit in the morning, and also to go out to find some of the daily basics need, like food and like hygienic materials. Even it's few and it's very expensive. For the citizen here, these prices never happen, even in the 2 years closure. And the people are very poor, and they can't gain these materials. They are trying to gain as they can, to buy as they can some food, which is really few and expensive. I'm living in the center of Jabalia. Yes, I'm living in the center of Jabalia refugee camp, and we receive refugees from the border zones, and from Beit Lahia town, Beit Hanun town, and from many areas. They came to the center. They are staying in the evacuation centers of UNRWA, which is the schools of UNRWA. I can't explain the miserable situation they are living in. You're talking about thousands of people living in small schools, and they didn't have electricity, they didn't have toilets, and there are too many with the children. They need special care, the children, babies as well, too many babies in the schools. No, nothing operating, no organization, no institutions, no schools as well. Actually, it's arrived, but it's very few, and the organizations can distribute it because it's difficult to move. And now Gaza, it's separated from the south, so if any containers would come to Gaza, it need to cross Nitzarim checkpoint, which is close by the Israeli tanks and bulldozers now. So it's very difficult to all these aids to come in now, and people is now let's say the crisis of food and of the hygienics and the crisis of the milk for the children. We are talking about basics, very basics. It's difficult to find it. It's really difficult, and if somebody find it, he needs to buy it. It's nothing free distributed yet for the poor household. The health services, you can see it's already stopped because the hospitals only receiving the wounded cases, were receiving killed persons. They are not free to help the ill people. Let's say they're coming for normal diseases and for taking curements. The doctors can't deal with them because they are already busy of the other cases. We are talking about more than 3,000 wounded people in Gaza Strip. Imagine the hospital situation now. Many doctors collapsed because they're working more than 50 hours. They didn't sleep, they didn't eat. So even the staff, the medical staff, not operating well now, not because they are not good, because the work is more than their capacities actually. We are talking about other thing. The children never face this situation. We have many physical problems for the children now. Imagine after the war how they gonna live. This is the first time they saw the explosion by their eyes. They saw dead people. I mean, even some children, they are already dead from the 1,000 people killed in this war. So imagine the children when they saw these images not by TV. They saw it live, because the shooting in the streets, the bombing in the streets, so it's possible to see it. And some witnesses told me that they saw the bodies of the kids, the bodies of men, women, in the engagement area. Because Israelis asked many groups to evacuate their houses. They surround them and they send them in the night to the center of Jabalia. And when they are walking in the streets, they saw the bodies there. So we are talking about 1,000 killed people. This is not the correct number, actually. It's more, but nobody can calculate it yet. And because this border is very dangerous, even the ambulances can't go there, because many ambulances and medical teams shot during this war. So it's very critical. The movements of ambulances is critical. The movements of people, it's critical. You don't have any guarantee if you go out of your house and you will be shot, I mean, by a car next to you, by a house next to you, or they are targeting some target. This war target only civilians. I mean, the previous incursions, the previous engagements was on the border zones and only the fighters and the Israelis engaged together. But this war between the civilians, all the missiles laying down between the civilians, the houses of civilians targeted. There is no alerting for the people to evacuate their houses. Before they used to alert the people to evacuate the house. Now there is no time. They shot like a small missile to alert the people, and this small missile killed many. After the shot by the F-16 or Apache, imagine the children and the people and the old women, old men living in the next houses and in the same houses dark, in the targeted house. They can't evacuate because it's only 5 minutes time evacuation between the alert missile and the true missile. It's really horrible situation. We never lived in this situation before. We feel ourselves like we are the second country in the world and Israel fighting us. They use everything, every possible weapon against the civilians. We don't know when this ends. We can't imagine that we will survive. Actually, each day come and we are alive. We thank God 1,000 times because we are really surviving.